chairman of House Oversight Committee, Kentucky Republican Congressman James Comer. Good morning to you, Mr. Chairman. Let's start with the reports we're seeing that you plan to meet with Secret Service today, this week, following last weekend's shooting, to get a briefing at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Can you tell us where things stand on that?
Well, I met privately with the Secret Service Director 2 days ago in preparation of this committee-wide briefing, and I made him very aware that we have a lot of questions, we have a lot of concerns. If you study the history of the House Oversight Committee, dating back 10 years to when Jason Chaffetz was chairman of this committee, there were a lot of investigations about the Secret Service. These investigations turned up the fact that there was a high turnover, they weren't getting adequate training, and the morale was low. Fast forward to today, and we still have these same concerns. So those are along the lines, in addition to questions about shots that were fired and was there a better way to secure the perimeter?
I want to shift gears now to the fraud hearing held by Minnesota lawmakers. We know the hearing happening as the feds execute 22 search warrants at various daycare and autism centers across the Twin Cities. What are you expecting to uncover from these raids and, more importantly, these hearings? There are so many questions still unanswered.
Yeah, look, we're real excited about the effort that the Trump administration, in particular Vice President Vance, with respect to fraud. We have a fraud crisis in America. If the American people realized exactly how much of their tax dollars were lost to fraud, they would be up here on the steps of the Capitol demanding massive change. So we've got an administration that's focused on that. Our committee's been focused on it. You're starting to see prosecutions, and the only way to stop the fraud is to hold people accountable who commit fraud, and we're starting to see that now. So I think we're at a turning point. We've got a Republican majority that's serious about fraud, as well as a vice president that's focused like a laser on prosecuting people.
So, Mr. Chairman, put this in the category, you can't make this up. So after denying fraud existed when it was first discovered, Minnesota Democratic Governor Tim Walz now trying to take credit for yesterday's raids. That prompted FBI Director Kash Patel blasting him on X, quote, saying, "Come again? This FBI and DOJ with our DHS partners drafted and executed every search warrant, but go ahead and take credit for our work while we smoke out the fraud plaguing Minnesota under your governorship." Are you in the least bit surprised he's trying to claim credit for this when he first denied it?
Nothing surprises me by Tim Walz. We had committee hearings. We did a thorough investigation. We met with all the whistleblowers in Minnesota who were state employees. We learned and proved without a shadow of a doubt that these Democrat employees have been warning Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, the Attorney General in Minnesota, for years about the fraud. And yet both turned a blind eye to the fraud because they didn't want to alienate that massive Somali voting bloc in Minnesota that's so important to keeping the Democrat Party in power there.
Before you go, I know you're holding a full House Oversight Committee markup today to consider legislation aimed at protecting taxpayer dollars and rooting out rampant fraud in federal programs. So what are some specific proposals that you think this can accomplish?
I have a bill focused on what's called the do not pay list, and that is exactly what it sounds like. The people who are listed on the do not pay are individuals and businesses who either owe federal taxes, who have been indicted, who are under investigation for fraud. There is a list out there that shows bad actors, but yet most government agencies don't take the time to look at that list, and they continue to pay these fraudsters. They go from Medicaid fraud to hospice fraud to daycare fraud. It's the same people in the same businesses, yet these government agencies don't use the resources that are there. So my legislation requires these government agencies to put in the software that would kick out anyone on the do not pay list. I mean, that sounds like something the government should be doing, but let me assure you, the government is not. These agencies, it's almost like they're not concerned about fraud. So my legislation puts more guardrails and hopefully will significantly reduce fraud in the future.
All right, Mr. Chairman Comer, thank you so much for taking the time this morning. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.